And happy Monday. It's Tiffany and Brandon here at BMW Gallery on this rainy Monday. So because it's raining, we're going to stay inside, keep away from the cold and the wet. But we are going to go over our SAV lineup. So for those of you who are really interested in the SAVs but have never really gotten the opportunity to see them side by side, now's your chance. We have an X1, an X3, an X6, and an X5M. And we have Brandon, and he's gonna.
I'm always here.
And he's always here.
Here.
And he's gonna teach us about each one. Why don't you talk a little bit about BMW SAVs in general and what sets them apart from other brands first?
So, first of all, what sets our brand apart from anyone else? One, it's a BMW.
Yeah, speaks for itself.
Speaks for itself. Ultimate driving machine. I always rave about it. But we don't call them SUVs like other brands. We call them SAVs, sport activity vehicles. A lot of people ask why. It's just our marketing ploy. That's what we call it. They're SAVs. So it's just like a regular SUV. We just name it a little bit differently.
I think it's great too because it kind of speaks for the lifestyle. I think that, you know, a lot of people are active and are constantly, you know, using the different aspects of the car. Not to say that that's not happening in sedans, but especially with SAVs, you know, they're with xDrive and their setup, they're built to kind of go anywhere and everywhere.
Where most people don't go. Most of these things that these cars could do, no one's going to ever do. That's why BMW does actually offer exclusive trips. You can actually take some of our SUVs on an experience, an 8 or an 11-day expedition in Namibia, Africa.
What?
Which is really cool. You get to go off-roading in South Africa. You take an X5 or an X3 out there, usually the diesel, and you get to really experience what these cars are going to do. So 11 days, that's a trip. If the car can make it, there's not really any question as to why it can't make it in the snow.
Right.
It definitely can.
If it can do Africa, it can do New England.
Exactly. There's no snow in Africa, in southern Africa.
No.
Let's hope not, anyways. But there's definitely snow here. So that makes these cars perfect for New England, which is why we have them lined up here. Starting from smallest to largest. We have the Big Daddy King down at the end, the X5M with around 560 horsepower. We got the X6 35. This is an M Sport X6 right here. And then right behind me, we have the X3 35. And then the X1 28. This is the only one right here with a 4-cylinder.
4-cylinder, okay. So can you talk about fuel economy for the X1?
So the X1, this is a great, efficient, small SUV, but it definitely feels full size. The economy, however, so we have a 2-liter inline turbocharged 4-cylinder, just like a lot of our models. You're going to get an average combined of about 26, with about 32 on the highway, which is awesome for this car, especially for how much you can actually lug around in it and how spacious it feels on the inside for how small the car actually is.
Can we take a look inside it?
We can absolutely take a look inside. Go ahead and you can open the door and you can get a good
I'm going to get in the back seat.
Saddle brown
interior, white exterior for everyone who's wondering. So the setup is pretty sweet, I think, for both the driver and their passengers. I know we talk a lot about the driver because that's what's super important, but here...
Yeah, it's very driver focused, but we also make sure it's spacious inside, very open layout, nothing intrusive or in the way, despite, you know, our monitor screens, like our nav screens, don't descend into the dashboard. However, they never actually sit in your line of sight, so it doesn't really need to.
Right. So I'm going to put the seats down in here, too, just to kind of... oh, that's one.
Move down individually from each other. It makes it very straightforward.
Can you grab that? I only have one hand. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and open the trunk.
Yeah, I'll open the trunk.
See what the seats look like when they're down.
Trying to use my one hand to do everything. So, simple lift. And you're gonna see all the storage that you have in here. I mean, I'm gonna crawl in because why not? It's live and I'm getting wet, but it's okay. It's okay.
Welcome to Facebook Live.
I know. My pants are soaked. So you can fit, I mean, a ton of stuff back here. You can see everything. Thank you. Thank you. So.
Yeah, so when you have all the partitions removed, one, it makes it easier to get in the car.
Thanks. Would have been helpful.
You get a lot of additional space as well.
So you get space under here too.
X1, you have all of this extra space underneath.
Okay, and is that something that all SAVs have for BMW?
Yes, unless you get the optional spare tire. The only one that doesn't have a substantial underneath storage capacity is the X3, although it does still have underneath storage.
So, can you tell me about some of the major differences between the X1 that we have right here and the X3 right here?
So one of the major differences is on the X1 versus the X3.
Yeah.
Right here, so we have dual exhaust tips on the X1 separated from each other versus the X3, whether you get the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder, you still get just 2 tips on the left side of the car.
Can you talk about the difference that makes in the car, if any?
It's just a really nice appearance difference. It just visually enhances the look of the car.
Okay.
In this case, every BMW, whether it has 1, 2, or 4-tip exhaust, it definitely makes sure that it has the proper airflow. Now, one of the cool things, if I close both of the side doors, I can show you on the trunk, is like a lot of other cars in its segment now, you can key to close. However, I don't have the key on.
No, but this is probably one of my favorite features for SAVs now because it's super, super convenient when your hands are full, when you have a million things.
All you have to do, just like any other of our cars except for the X5, you just put the key in your pocket.
Put the key in your pocket.
And just a swift little motion under the boot.
Look at that. And here it comes. 2 seconds.
And it goes back up just the same way.
Perfect. And you said so all of the SAVs that we're going to look at except
for
the X5.
And the reason being, and we'll get to that when we get down to the X5M, I will discuss it.
Okay, perfect.
So now that we've checked out the X1, why don't we go ahead and check out the X3.
So
these are both the same color car, yes, but very different from each other. This X3, you can get the X3 in a diesel, a 6-cylinder gasoline, or a 4-cylinder. Most people opt for the 4-cylinder if you're looking for a little bit more performance. You go with the 6-cylinder like we have here. This one specifically is an X line. You have these beautiful rims. Absolutely one of my favorites on this car. I don't think I'd get it with another one. They do have an optional larger rim, but I still like these ones better actually.
Sure.
Just like most of our cars, you have an optional comfort access. Just like any SUV really, you have, grab the door handle that unlocks, press it, it's gonna lock itself, like it just did there for me. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Same thing in the back seat of the X3 versus the X1. This one, all the seats fold down the same. You do have additional cargo space in the back.
You do. So it is. It's bigger.
Absolutely. You got more leg room, headroom. You got dual vents back there for the climate control.
Will you just sit in the back seat too, so we can see, just to see?
I'm not a small guy. The seat in front of me is adjusted to my sitting position. I have plenty of room, whether my feet are under or behind the seat. I don't have any problems. I'm comfortable.
You're comfortable? It's a good road trip car is what you're saying, basically.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on how many people you have with you.
True.
Same thing on the X3 and the X1. I can.
Do you have the key in your pocket?
I should. No.
There it goes.
So I did have.
Oh, water.
So it's a little wet. It is pouring outside.
Yeah.
But larger trunk capacity as opposed to the X1. As you get bigger in the SAV model lineup, that's how it works. So the X3, it's about 15 cubic feet larger compared to the X1 when all seats are in place.
Just so you guys can see, we're gonna see. So, the backs of each car.
You do, just like all of our cars, have the cargo little privacy shade. Comes standard. And then you do have additional underneath storage.
But this has the option for the spare tire as well.
No, the X3 you cannot get the spare tire.
No.
So you can only get it on the X1, the X6, and the X5.
Okay, good to know in case that's something that you really
now, right here in this lineup, some of you may have noticed we don't have the X4. That would be right here. Right where I'm standing.
You're the X4 right now.
No, I'm not that big.
Oh.
The X4, we have gone over the X4 M40 in previous videos, so we did a walk around and test drive on that car. So if you want to know more about that, just go ahead and go back to one of our older videos on Facebook and you'll be able to get more information on that.
And Brandon loves the X4. I know when we went over that, he was super excited to show you guys.
I do. It's a really good size.
Yeah. And it has a similar body style to the X6, if you can imagine.
It's a similar body style to the X6. However, instead of based on this car, it's based more on the X3. What's cool about this X6, so this is the 6-cylinder M Sport. This is called carbon black metallic. You can't really tell on video, but it's actually dark blue. Then you have, not going to be able to see it in the video.
No, you're not, but I tried.
And you have two-tone rear bumper and square exhaust tips. So because it's M Sport, you have multi-tone rear bumper. And then the X6, just like the X4, is actually a hatch. So if I go ahead and open that, give me 1 second.
It's locked. See, guys, it's live. Things happen. Definitely. Georgiev says he likes the X3. I like the X3 too. I think it's a good combination.
A good size.
Yeah, it's like the perfect size for someone who, is an everyday driver. Maybe you're not putting a bunch of things back there every single day, but
and
sometimes.
You're not always going to have someone in the back seat.
Right.
Now the X6 is quite a bit higher up than the X3 and the X4.
See if you can kind of compare lights-wise. Like the X3 is a little higher, the bumper's a little higher. Can you guys see that?
The X6 sits at a much higher commanding position, so you feel a lot bigger in the car as well. So the trunk space is very clearly a lot larger in here than the X3. However, because it is a hatch, you do lose a little bit of height. So you're losing a little bit of height when it's closed. However, it is a lot deeper than the X3. But unlike the X3, you have additional storage underneath the floor, which is quite large, just like the X1.
And can you put the seats down on this just so we can see?
Yeah, sure.
It's a big car. There's a lot of room, and with the black, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there's definitely plenty of space for everyone you want to fit, for everything you want to fit. You're not going to be really missing out on much. As far as the X6 is concerned, can you talk a little bit about maybe like fuel economy and engine and stuff like that?
The X6 comes standard with a 6-cylinder, or you can get the 4.4 liter V8 that we have discussed in one of our previous models. And you can also get an M version, the 4.4 liter V8, so you can get an X6M as well. That puts out about 560 horsepower, to 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds. Now, so fuel economy on the 6-cylinder, you're going to average about 23 miles to the gallon, which is pretty reasonable for an SUV of this size, with as much power as it makes and how quick it is. As well as the V8, you can get almost similar fuel economy. You get about 18 average. I've seen a lot of people get about 23 when they drive reasonably. And then the X6M, who cares about gas mileage? Because you're just going to be smoking every other car on the road. Now, back to the trunk, we have a huge amount of space.
Yeah.
We do still have the little partition right here for privacy in place, but you have so much room in the back of the X6.
Yeah, you're not going to have any problem. This is as big as my bed, I think.
As big as your bed?
No, probably not. But, to compare.
And then if we go ahead and look at the inside, go ahead and check out the front seat space of this car.
Yep. So you have the seat extenders per usual and plenty of room for them right here. I get in. All right, everybody. I am probably like 5'6". So, sorry about that, guys.
Now, it does look very familiar, and that's because it's design styled inside the X6, just like the X5. There are small differences that most people, unless you're a BMW enthusiast, wouldn't notice. Like the center console is slightly different. It has leather wraps on the sides of it.
See? Can you see? Keep. Oh.
And then if we walk back around to the front.
I love the front of these cars. I love them all lined up together. We did it at the beginning of our video, and they all just look so cool with their LED headlights.
I had to make sure that we got all the ones with LEDs. So we have all the halos out today. Now, again, the front of the X6, this is an M Sport X6, so it has larger air inlets down here below and larger grills as well. So it's maximizing the air to give better engine cooling for performance. Now, the King.
Why the King? Why? Why?
Because this is the road SUV or car of all road SUVs.
Okay.
No other performance SUV can touch the performance of this. The Range Rover SVR, the Porsche Cayenne, the Macan, anything else out there, you name it, it can't touch it, unless it's been aftermarket modified, of course. But a factory car, this is the fastest, best performing SUV on the market.
Okay.
Or as we call it, SAV. The reason being is they developed this so much in mind with the track that even though this is a 6,000 plus pound vehicle, it has so much power. It is incredibly fast, it's incredibly well handled, and the way they designed everything was performance and ideal based. So I mean, even the headlight design, the fog light placement, the large air inlets, the car is actually sitting lower. There's multiple intercoolers in the front. You have one that's bottom mounted specifically for the transmission. The wheels on this is a winter set of wheels.
Okay.
That is true. It's an M car, it's X-Drive, you can drive it all year round. This one has the snow tires on it, which you can get, of course, but standard it would come with the 21-inch rims. You have air ducting down the side of the vehicle. The mirrors are designed differently for airflow. The lower side skirt is different to give better aerodynamic grip, and it's going to sit, it goes pretty much faster than every car we have, realistically. This this is basically the fastest M car that we have.
So are you talking all M cars or all M cars, not just SAVs or anything like that?
Not just SAVs. This is pretty much the big bad. Because of the all-wheel drive system, it makes it perform a lot quicker than most of the other cars.
Okay.
Since none of our other M cars are all-wheel drive. However, the M5 will be shortly. It's not there yet. Now, just like I said before when we were talking about the trunks, the X5M as well, doesn't have a kick-to-open trunk. Now, there are two reasons for that. You have the rear diffuser and splitter with the quad-tip exhaust on the X5. So it's quite a bit different. There's no place to put the sensor down here to kick to open it, as well as the X5 has a split loading rear tailgate. So what that means is it opens two ways.
Oh.
So I have the lower half and the upper half. The reason for that is you can take the seat.
It's a perfect tailgate car.
Yes.
Perfect.
And again, you do still have a ton of storage space. And you have below storage, typically. However, this one does actually have the spare tire.
Which is good to say because it can't
Yeah,
on the
because we
other
do
cars.
offer it.
Right.
This one has the rear trunk liner, some other stuff that the car comes with, but it has a ton of storage space. This actually has more storage space than the X6 next to it. Now, one of the other really cool things about the interior of this car are the seats. The seats are so specially designed to hug you.
You love them.
I do.
He wants to be hugged by the seat. He's going to show you. He's going to show you.
Inside the car, we have ivory white M seats. These are very specially designed for this car. They have adjustable side bolsters. They're just like the multi-contour seats in the rest of our cars, but they're so much more comfortable.
Love this too. This is awesome.
Yeah, so we have the bi-Napa leather, so you have the black with the white. It has the dual clutch transmission, just like every other M car that's an automatic. You cannot get a manual in this car. It makes too much power for the manual transmission.
I'm going to talk about the back a little bit.
And also, if you guys check out all the accent lighting inside the car.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Which is really awesome.
Really cool.
And then one of the other cool things that most of our X models or M cars come with, this one has the Bang & Olufsen premium audio sound system.
It's a good bump car.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money, but it's really loud.
I think the seats in here just look so grand, even the back seats. I mean, obviously we talked about the front seats and others, especially
it just
me.
says money.
Yeah.
It says you have money.
No, but
and never mind the nice little accents like we have here. So these are actually carbon fiber panels. BMW actually manufactures all of their own carbon fiber in the state of Washington of the US. So we actually make and produce all of our own carbon fiber that you find on any of our cars. We don't outsource. That's one of those things that helps us stay a green company.
I think it's great. I mean, when it comes to the SAV lineup, I know, especially this one, the X5M, they really kind of thought of everything.
Yeah, and another very special thing about this one that I just remembered, this is actually what you would call a BMW individual paint job. So this probably looks black on camera, but this is actually a very sparkly dark blue. And let me see if I can put a light on it so that you might be able to see that.
Oh yeah,
if you can zoom in, it has a nice little sparkle to it.
Yes.
It's a very pretty color.
Made specially for you.
Individually for you.
Individually, okay.
Now, do we have any questions from any of our viewers at this time?
Yeah, I mean, we're always up to answer questions, anything that kind of comes to your mind. If there's something about the SAV lineup, if you're thinking about SAVs, if you have one and you want to see us do something with it, anything really like that.
If you don't have any questions, I think we're just going to have to start the X5M.
Yeah, look at him. He's like,
some of you have listen. So we'll start up the X5M. We'll do the X6 and the X3.
He wants that seat to hug him. That's what it is.
So why don't you go ahead and walk around the back and
yeah,
sounds like.
Take a listen. Now, if you remember the X5M, I mean, we've done M cars kind of all month, so those of you who have watched are going to be familiar with the sound. It's just kind of cool to hear it from the SAV. And if you haven't heard the M car, I mean, the M engine is just something. Listen to that. Yeah. The coolest thing is that you're hearing basically a race car come out of an SAV.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the M-tuned exhaust system, which is fantastic. You can also get a similar exhaust if you get the X6M. The X6M would sound just the same.
Okay.
Now why don't we go ahead and start up the X6, which is just an M Sport 6-cylinder, but it still sounds nice. Not quite as nice as the X5M, but it definitely has a nice tune.
Somebody has a favorite.
Yeah, the X5.
Hear this. This has a square exhaust. It definitely still sounds powerful. It's one of those things where, I mean, to compare, obviously you just heard the X5M and that's loud. That sounds, it's like a race car. This is a little softer, but it's definitely, you can still hear that power behind it. You can still hear that ability to, take that speed, and definitely a force to be reckoned with. Yes. I'm talking about the car, not you.
Well, I won't refuse. And now for the X3. So, surprisingly enough, the X3 is quite noisy for a 6-cylinder.
Really?
So yeah, that just came out of an X3.
And
now we're going to start up the X1 because it's just a 4-cylinder and they didn't design it to sound sporty. In this version, you can get the M Sport and it sounds a little bit more naughty. But these ones are the big daddies. You got the 6-cylinders and then the V8.
All right. I think that if nobody has any questions, you've kind of done your job well today, Brandon, and you've really gone over everything. So we'll go ahead and tune out. Yeah. For those of you who tuned in for the first time today, or who may be watching this later, we go live every Monday from BMW Gallery at 12:30, rain or shine, as we proved today.
Yes,
Brandon teaches us.
Today.
Yes, Brandon teaches us something new every week, whether it be an M car, an SAV, a 2 Series, 3 Series, 4 Series, 5 Series, and so on. So be sure to click the little follow button in the corner so that you can keep up and get any notifications anytime we go live with anything, and you can know what's going on in the dealership. If you have done that already, like I say every week, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can email us, you can call us. Just, stay in touch and keep
again,
friends.
I believe this is probably the last Monday in March, right? So
Yes.
That means this is the last March Madness video that we're doing. And that's why we had to have the X5M, because it was M Madness from March.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, this will be the last M dedicated video, essentially, for a little while.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely pick it back up again. I have a couple of special M cars coming in from Europe. So we'll do some feature videos on those when they come in.
Yeah, and if you guys want to say anything, definitely send us a message, write it on our wall, and just let us know, because we are happy to take requests. But enjoy your rainy Monday, guys.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.